Welcome to English Practice Everyday. In this video, we will learn the meanings of these 6 phrasal verbs with the word stay. We will practice each phrasal verb with simple sentences. After our practice, we will read out loud a short story using all these phrasal verbs to understand them in their proper context. Let's start. Please speak out loud with me as we practice. 1. Stay up. Stay up. Stay up means to remain awake past your usual bedtime. Stay up means to remain awake past your usual bedtime. Tom stayed up reading a thrilling novel. Tom stayed up reading a thrilling novel. We stayed up to welcome the new year. We stayed up to welcome the new year. Amy stayed up late to finish her homework. Amy stayed up late to finish her homework. The kids stayed up past midnight during the sleepover. The kids stayed up past midnight during the sleepover. Another meaning of stay up less commonly is to continue standing or upright. Stay up less commonly means to continue standing or upright. The tent stayed up despite the strong winds. The tent stayed up despite the strong winds. The sign won't stay up without proper support. The sign won't stay up without proper support. Make sure the ladder stays up while you climb. Make sure the ladder stays up while you climb. That tree has stayed up for over 100 years. That tree has stayed up for over 100 years. 2. Stay off. Stay off. Stay off means to avoid stepping onto or using something. Stay off means to avoid stepping onto or using something. Stay off the road when it's icy. Stay off the road when it's icy. Please stay off the grass in the park. Please stay off the grass in the park. The doctor told him to stay off his injured foot. The doctor told him to stay off his injured foot. You should stay off the wet floor to avoid slipping. You should stay off the wet floor to avoid slipping. Another meaning of stay off is to abstain from consuming or doing something. Stay off means to abstain from consuming or doing something. I am trying to stay off sugary snacks. I am trying to stay off sugary snacks. The doctor advised Joe to stay off caffeine. The doctor advised Joe to stay off caffeine. Stay off junk food if you want to lose weight. Stay off junk food if you want to lose weight. Leo decided to stay off social media for a month. Leo decided to stay off social media for a month. 3. Stay on. Stay on. Stay on means to remain in a place or position longer than planned. Stay on means to remain in a place or position longer than planned. Lisa stayed on at the event to help with cleanup. Lisa stayed on at the event to help with cleanup. John stayed on at the company even after retiring. John stayed on at the company even after retiring. I decided to stay on for another week after my vacation. I decided to stay on for another week after my vacation. The teacher asked Jack to stay on after class for a chat. The teacher asked Jack to stay on after class for a chat. Another meaning of stay on is to persist or continue functioning. Stay on means to persist or continue functioning. The light stayed on all night by mistake. The light stayed on all night by mistake. The lamp stayed on despite the heavy rain. The lamp stayed on despite the heavy rain. The fan stays on even when the power is low. The fan stays on even when the power is low. Jane's focus stayed on the task until it was done. Jane's focus stayed on the task until it was done. 4. Stay put. Stay put. Stay put means to remain in the same place and not move. Stay put means to remain in the same place and not move. If the dog stays put, I'll give him a treat. If the dog stays put, I'll give him a treat. Please stay put until I come back with help. Please stay put until I come back with help. The doctor advised me to stay put and rest for a few days. The doctor advised me to stay put and rest for a few days. During the storm, we decided to stay put rather than risk going outside. During the storm, we decided to stay put rather than risk going outside. 5. Stay over. Stay over. Stay over means to spend the night at someone else's house or another location. Stay over means to spend the night at someone else's house or another location. We often stay over at the cabin on weekends. We often stay over at the cabin on weekends. I stayed over at my friend's house after the party. I stayed over at my friend's house after the party. Can I stay over tonight? It's too late to drive home. Can I stay over tonight? It's too late to drive home. The kids love staying over at their grandparents' house. The kids love staying over at their grandparents' house. 6. Stay away. Stay away. Stay away means to avoid going near or being close to something or someone. Stay away means to avoid going near or being close to something or someone. Stay away from the edge of the cliff. Stay away from the edge of the cliff. Please stay away from that broken glass. Please stay away from that broken glass. Liz tries to stay away from negative people. Liz tries to stay away from negative people. The doctor warned me to stay away from sick people. The doctor warned me to stay away from sick people. Another meaning of stay away is to abstain from engaging in or consuming something. Stay away means to abstain from engaging in or consuming something. I've been trying to stay away from gossip at work. I've been trying to stay away from gossip at work. Stay away from trouble if you want a peaceful life. Stay away from trouble if you want a peaceful life. Alex promised to stay away from smoking for good. Alex promised to stay away from smoking for good. Sue decided to stay away from caffeine before bedtime. Sue decided to stay away from caffeine before bedtime. That's the end of our practice. Let's now read out loud a short story using all these phrasal verbs in a proper context. Title of the story: A Night to Remember. It was a chilly evening in Oakhaven, a quaint semi-urban community surrounded by hills and dense forests. Jenna, a college student on winter break, had come back to visit her parents after months of living in the city. That evening, her parents had gone out for a dinner party, leaving her to babysit her younger brother, Ethan. "Can we stay up late tonight?" Ethan asked, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Jenna smiled. "Only if you promise to stay put while I grab us some snacks." Ethan nodded eagerly and stayed on the couch, glued to his favorite video game. As Jenna rummaged through the kitchen cabinets, she realized there was no popcorn. "Stay put, Ethan. I'll run to the store," she called out. Ethan paused his game, hesitant. "What if something happens? You know the woods can be creepy at night." Jenna laughed. "Don't worry. Just stay off the phone and don't call Mom unless it's an emergency." The convenience store was just a 10-minute walk, but the path through the woods always gave Jenna the chills. She reminded herself to stay on the well-lit path and quickened her pace. The storekeeper, Mr. Howard, greeted her warmly. "Staying over for the holidays, Jenna?" he asked. She nodded while picking up some snacks and hot chocolate mix. "Yes, but only for a week. College keeps me busy." On her way back, she heard rustling in the bushes. Jenna stayed put, heart pounding. It was probably just a raccoon, she thought, but she decided to stay away from the wood's edge, walking faster until she reached her house. When she stepped inside, Ethan looked up from his game. "You're back! Did you hear about the ghost stories people tell around here?" Jenna rolled her eyes. "Those stories are just to scare kids like you. Now let's make hot chocolate." As the night deepened, Ethan began yawning. "Why don't you go to bed?" Jenna suggested. "I'll stay up and finish my book." Ethan nodded but hesitated. "Can you stay on the first floor? I don't like being upstairs alone." Jenna agreed, settling into the couch with a novel. The wind howled outside and the light flickered for a moment. Jenna glanced at the old lamp in the corner. Relieved, it stayed on. Suddenly, a loud bang echoed from the backyard. Startled, Jenna and Ethan looked at each other. "Stay here," Jenna whispered. "I'll check it out." She grabbed a flashlight and opened the back door cautiously. The trash cans had toppled over, likely from the wind. But then she noticed footprints leading to the side gate. She decided to stay off the lawn and follow the tracks from the paved walkway, her heart racing. As she peeked around the corner, she saw a shadowy figure darting away. "Hey!" she shouted, but the figure disappeared into the night. She stayed put for a moment, unsure of what to do. Her phone buzzed. It was her mom. "We're staying over at the Johnsons' place tonight. The roads are too icy. Lock the doors and stay safe," her mom said. Jenna bolted back inside, double-checking every lock. "What happened?" Ethan asked, eyes wide. "Someone was outside, but they are gone now," she said, trying to stay calm. "Let's avoid the back door and stick together." They decided to camp out in the living room, making a fort with blankets. Ethan eventually dozed off, but Jenna stayed up, keeping watch. Her flashlight stayed on the entire time, and she kept reminding herself to stay away from panicking. The next morning, the police came by after Jenna reported the incident. "Sounds like a harmless drifter," the officer said, "but you were smart to stay cautious." As her parents returned, Jenna felt a mix of relief and pride. That night had been unsettling, but she had learned to stay calm and think on her feet, a lesson she would carry long after her visit to Oakhaven. End of story. That's all for this phrasal verb session. Please keep practicing these phrasal verbs in your speech over the next few days to master them. Bye for now.